But the problem with Diogenes, or one of the problems with Diogenes, was that the oracle at Delphi had told him that his job in life was to deface cultural currency. And what that meant is that he was supposed to violate social norms. And so this manifested in him defecating in the theater. Remember I read the thing about how from the beginning anarchism has had this problem? So he would defecate in the theater because no one's going to tell me where I can and can't defecate. He would masturbate in the public market, which the whole public sex thing that's pushed by anarchism goes all the way back to that as well. And he would violate all social norms. And so here's the problem, is that, or one of the problems, is again, there's sort of a black and white thinking where just because there are some social norms that are oppressive, therefore all social norms must be destroyed. And that leads anarchism to some atrocity-inducing madness. For example, there is a long correlation between anarchism and pedophilia and support for pedophilia.
Something relevant.
Oh, wait. That's a beautiful line. Thank you so much for asking. How about something relevant? I've been talking about rape culture all day, and pedophilia and the support of pedophilia is not rape culture?
He's a rape victim.
And I stand with him, anybody that's against him, because I'm a rape victim by another rape man. Okay? So just because I'm big, and just because he's big, doesn't make us rapists. We're survivors. Okay? And I'm here to listen to him.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so actually, it seems you're acting like this is a spurious connection. So we're going to play Jeopardy. We're going to play queer theory. We're going to play queer theory, pedophilia, Jeopardy. Okay, answer. Commonly called the godfather of queer theory.
Who is Foucault?
Who is Foucault?
I got it.
Okay, 100 points. Foucault. Another way to ask this is who argued, no, I guess the answer would be, argued for the eradication of age of consent laws as in down to infants.
Who is Foucault?
Thank you.
Okay, next one. The author of the founding document of queer theory.
Who is Gail Rubin?
Who is Gail Rubin? What percentage? No, the answer is 50%. Question is?
The amount in that article that was a defense of pedophilia, specifically, quote, boy lovers, so men who fuck boys.
Oh. And since you're not believing me, quote, this is in the founding document of queer theory. Like communists and homosexuals in the 1950s, boy lovers are so stigmatized that it is difficult to find defenders of their civil liberties, let alone for their erotic orientation. That's in the founding document of queer theory. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm using facts. A thousand apologies. One must never let facts in the way. Oh, and she also compared, by the way, she compared pedophilia to a preference for spicy food. The thing is, I have never heard of anyone who has to have years of therapy because they ate hot and sour soup. Okay, so up to 200. Now it is pedophilia and queer theory for 300. That would be author of Macho Sluts. Author of Macho Sluts and Public Sex. Pat Califia.
Derek Jensen is an eco-fascist.
Wait. What was it somebody said? Stay relevant.
If you're not going to uplift every single fucking woman, then no, you're exclusionary, you're not a fucking revolutionary, and it's bullshit.
Okay, let's talk about Pat Califia.
Why don't you respond? Because I can't respond. Fucking transphobe.
Okay, here's something from one of Pat Califia's books. You know, it's really interesting. It's really interesting that when I actually start talking about the relationship between queer theory and anarchism and pedophilia, that it becomes, they really want to shut me up now. Okay. So here's Pat Califia.
You're a homophobe.
Pat Califia. Oh, wait, just a second. I was accused of homophobia because I'm against pedophilia. Who is it who actually makes the connections between that? Shoes we're looking for. Okay, here's something by Pat Califia. Pat Califia has written, any child old enough to decide whether or not she or he wants to eat spinach, play with trucks, or wear shoes is old enough to decide whether or not she wants to run around naked in the sun, masturbate, sit in someone's lap, or engage in sexual activity, by which she does not mean play doctor, she means with adults. And she's very clear about that because she also says that pedophiles should be more and not less invested in children's lives. Okay, so we're at 300. 400 is the most famous queer theorist of today. Answer. No, it is not Judith Butler. Who is Judith Butler? Okay, Judith Butler is the most famous queer theorist of the day. And I have a serious question for everybody who's hating me in a moment. Except I have to spell intergeneration correctly. Intergeneration. Up. Okay.
We see you, all of you supporters here, who do not care about trans people's lives. Every person here supports that you don't.
Okay. Here's a great quote from Judith Butler.
That's not an argument, that's a bumper. Then it's the fucking truth. Are you supporting them?
Okay. So Judith Butler wrote, so I keep adding this qualification. When incest is a violation, suggesting I think there may be occasions in which it's not. Why would I talk that way? Well, I do think that there are probably forms of incest that are not necessarily traumatic, and which gain their traumatic character by virtue of the consciousness of social shame that they produce. Yeah, that's Judith Butler. That's one of the queer heroes. Okay, now we have for 500 we have the last one in the queer theory and pedophilia. The answer is queer theorist who has spoken out strongly against pedophilia.
Zero. Who is no one.
Who is no one, not a single one. Because the entire thing is based on transgressing. Yeah, I know, dear fucking God. Okay, the question is, okay, so we have like 2 minutes left, and
What is he here for? Do you believe that all queers are pedophiles?
well, of course not. What I'm saying is that queer theory promotes pedophilia. Queer theory itself. And I gave citations from actual queer theorists. Or we could talk about Allen Ginsberg. He has some dreadful lines about how children would get used to our lovemaking if only the adults would stay out of it. Hakim Bey, for God's sake. So my point is, this is not. Queer theory, I think, is really hard. And thank you for asking respectfully. You were the one who asked, right? Yes, I think queer theory is a really harmful philosophy. And I want to be really clear that, yeah, it has nothing to do with homosexuality. And it emerged in the 1980s really as a response to a lot of, especially lesbian feminist ideas. And it also emerged through postmodernism, which we can talk about or not if you want. But the point is that I think that it is a mistake to, some of the strongest opponents of queer theory are lesbians. And there are also not as many, but there are a large number of gay men who are very strongly opposed to queer theory.
On that,
Sorry,
any
12:30. So if we must cut off your time. No platform for hate. No platform for hate. No platform for hate.
Wait. No, I want to hear. Excuse me. Person on the right. Person on the right. I mean, you were polite. I want to hear your question. I honestly want to hear your question.
okay, so I'm asking from a place of myself.
Okay.
You say that there is a basis that in queer theory that put into actuality has a linkage with pedophilia and supporting that in its roots. And I would say, you know, there's obviously some level of truth in what anyone says. I would say that whether it's hyperbole or not, that's not my question. What it's on is that you can find that in any community, like you said previously, and that by any community, there is some basis in reality, because that's what you look at. You're not looking at what's on paper, you're looking at what's on the actual basis. So would you say that within DRG itself, or sorry, DGR itself, would you say that it contains its own members or its own so-called doctrines that can be labeled as some form of pedophilia or misogyny or whatever you want to label it as to prove that that community itself therein is just as bad as you claim queer theory is?
Thank you for the question. And there will be individuals in any organization who are shits. In contrast to your comrades, or they might not be your comrades, I just want to thank you again for your courtesy. My problem with queer theory is not necessarily individuals who ascribe to theory. There are decent people who are Christians, there are decent people. My problem with queer theory is its foundation in postmodernism and its David Halpern is a pretty big queer theorist, and one of the things he says is that queer is by definition against all that is normal. And that's my response too. It's like, I mean, so paying 7% sales tax is normal? So that means if I pay 20% sales tax, that's queer? I mean, it's just, it's, no, that, so the point is that my problem with queer theory is that it is based on a blanket attack on all that is considered normal. And I don't think that that is, like, even if I lived in Nazi Germany, it would not be useful to fuck a child. It would not be helpful to fuck a child, even in Nazi Germany. The point, shut the fuck up. The point is, I'm trying to have a reasonable conversation with a reasonable person. The point is that even within a horribly oppressive structure, there are still norms that are worth keeping. And so my problem with queer theory is that one of the problems with queer theory is it is too broad of a, it doesn't have the capacity in its formation from the beginning, it is based on transgressing norms. That's what it's based on. But again, some norms should be transgressed, and some norms should not be transgressed.
But it's
That's
actually
it.
not up to you, as it turns out. Which one should be and should not be.
I'll say, representing myself, I'm not going to affiliate myself with any particular organization. And that this is personal statement, I desperately want to like you. I have, members of people that are close to me that do either know you or like you in some manner or fashion. But I myself am a trans individual. I identify specifically as a trans woman, and I am a woman. And I want to say that I disagree with your ideology on that, even if you don't proclaim your own ideology, that it promotes exclusion against transgender individuals, and I don't agree with that. I believe that trans women are women, and whether or not I don't even know if you proclaim to that ideology because you don't talk about it. You avoid it in some manner, speaking so that you can show what you're saying in that regard. From what I've seen.
Right, which is why this whole thing is I was here to talk about the murder of the planet.
Because you all made it this way.
And yeah, that was my point, is to talk about the murder of the planet. And so it's time to go.
Got a few more minutes.
Okay, so you're okay, and I have profound respect for your maturity and capacity. I mean, here's the thing, like, I mentioned Eve Ensler a couple times.
Answer the question.
I mentioned Eve Ensler a couple times, and part of the reason I did, I was hoping that somebody was going to say, Eve Ensler disagrees with you on some issues. And she does. And that's great, because we're both adults. And that's what you do. So I mean, you have presented yourself respectfully, and that's great, and we disagree. Wonderful. And now we have a couple minutes, so if people are going to complain here that I don't say the mantra of trans women are women, can you please define the word woman and define the word trans woman? And before you go, I'm going to say that definitions cannot be tautological. Like a square, you can't say a square is a thing that's a square. We know that. And also, it has to be verifiable / falsifiable, such that if I say I'm a vegetarian, and then you say, what did you have for dinner last night? And I say bacon. It's like, that's falsifiable. And this is true. I'm not picking on you. This is generically true for definitions. So if I were going to go to do a protest of Donald Trump, and I were going to say, remove all dams, and he looked at me and he said, okay, great, define remove and define dams, I hope I could do it. So people here are really mad because I don't say trans women are women. So define woman and define trans woman.
I think you're a lovely woman, just saying. You don't have to educate.
Well, that's actually not a definition of woman.
Can anybody do it?
You can't look it up?
Yeah, I do look it up. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Forgive me, I'm conflicted in how I want to express myself.
I got you.
I would say that a woman is just an identity that is prescribed based on our preconceived notions of our notion of gender. Gender itself is just something that we created arbitrarily. And then trans woman is just another further abstraction from that, in that for some reason we prescribe that sex is related to gender originally. And we have become either, you could say, more progressive or more conservative in that idea on what political ideology prescribed to. But mostly you can say that being a woman is just the notion that we have these specific adjectives or these specific concepts ascribed to one notion. In the same way that being transgender is, for some reason, my sex doesn't match my gender. And because of that, for whatever reason, we have to have this notion that there is something that is transgender, or that is, beyond gender, I guess, or whatever. And that, to me, what is what is even just gender and being transgender within itself.
I'm sorry, what? Could you, I don't understand your definition of woman. Can you?
Woman is just, it's something that's, it's an amalgamation of things that we decided was a woman. It's just.
No, wait, no, hold on. But if woman is an amalgamation of things we decided are woman, that's tautological. Again, remember, you can't, that's like saying a square is the thing that we decided is a square.
That is the best way that I, and myself, and someone who's young and maybe isn't great at being able to say.
Okay, so can I, if I may say something as somebody who is older and is being respectful with you?
Oh my God, these people.
We can see it in the native cultures where they have spirit gender. We can see it overseas.
But nobody's still defined.
Anglo-Saxon have very much different ideas of gender, and you put these people into the box based upon specifically the Eurocentric form.
What are you doing?
Something you might think about is for the next protest you do is come up with a really succinct.
Oh my God!
You are
Okay, we have a question up here.
I've been watching this and I'm loving it, and I have to say I really respect their voice and yours. My concern here is the labeling and judgment that's going on. If we rise above the labeling, gender as a label, all of these words, why don't we rise above and support each other as Jensen is saying, hey, why don't we support the world?
Jensen isn't supporting.
But hang on a second, Dad, let me finish. I understand where you're coming from. My point is this. As we question ecologically, this mother here, why don't we also realize that we want to support all of the people, women, whatever label, whatever structure, whatever culture, is coming together in partnership that is nurturing. And I'm seeing you guys having the same thing. You want to have a partnership and acceptance and nurturing. You want to be accepted for what labels you put on you. Let's all rise above the labels.
Okay, we got to put up the chairs.